Que ole, Holmes. Man, here we are. It's over, homie. It is all over. 2022 is just about in the rear view mirror now, homie. Man, what is going on? Cholo Trucker here, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Shouts to all the chingones and chingonas. Why do I always forget to do this right here? Hang on. There we go. Yeah, chingones and chingonas, man. It is that time, man. It is over. We're looking out for we're looking into a new year now. So I just thought I'd go ahead jump on here. I don't really have a subject. Well, there is one thing I do kind of want to get into. I do understand, Josh Franco does fight tomorrow, man, and I'm not even really sure what time. But anyway, I know a lot of people like to do the best of this year, this, that category, all these different kind of categories. Before we get going, which I'm not really gonna do I'm not really gonna do much of that, but I do want to give a shout out to David Martinez. Gracias so much, carnal, from dmboxing.com. All the articles that David Martinez has sent me this year have just been great stuff, man. Just lights out stuff. Highly appreciated. So much old school stuff and great articles. You guys got to go check out his go check him out. Go check out his page, man. Go check out his website. That is dmboxing.com. And he sent me this right here. Send me his year review, and I basically just want to stick to one. I mean, we could go with a few, but I don't really like to get into all that stuff, man, because everybody just has all different types of thoughts and opinion, which is cool, but it doesn't really get anywhere. You know what I mean? But with that, let's go ahead and want to get into just fight of the year, right? Um, Again, I'm not gonna get into all the details of all the fights and everything, but I do like his list right here. But the one fight that he had is Jermel Charlo versus Castaño, and I thought that was a good one. I really did. I don't. That's not the fight that comes up to mind when I think fight of the year, though. It's just not. While it was a good fight, both of their fights were good, right? Um, but this last one that took place early this year actually ended in stoppage. So I guess that gets a little bit more brownie points. But I will tell you this: while I did enjoy that fight, while it was a good fight, man. And by the way, I'm not gonna be on here for too long, man, because I gotta get going in just a bit. But while I did enjoy that fight, I gotta tell you, whenever I hear or whenever anybody had asked me what was the best fight that I seen this year, um, the first one that comes to mind is Serrano Taylor. It just is, man. Now, is it the best fight? I don't know. I don't know, man. I would probably have to go back and rewatch a lot of these fights that come to mind. But without without really getting too deep into it, um that's the first one that comes to my mind. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, which Katie Taylor ended up winning that fight. And I agree with it. I agree. I know there was a lot of people that were talking about, hey, man, you know what? Serrano should have won that fight. She had Taylor hurt way more. And that is true on certain rounds. But you guys got to remember how they score it. It's round by round. It's a 10-point system. So just because she had her opponent hurt more than Taylor ever had Amanda Serrano hurt doesn't mean that she won the fight. the way the fights are scored. So to me personally, um, Taylor and Serrano stand out when it comes to the best fight. I was entertained more by that fight than probably any other fight. And you got to take into consideration, right? Um, this is why it's just for me. I already went into that fight kind of not really expecting too much of a great fight. I was expecting a good fight. I was, I was in it, dog. I was in it. There's no secret here. I'm not that big of a fan of female boxing, but this one I was interested. And going into it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna see a pretty good fight. Man, it went way beyond the expectations that I set for it. So maybe that has something to do with it. But nonetheless, homie, that was just a great fight, man. I just loved it all the way around. Hey, hang on real quick. All right. All right, back at it. Okay. So yeah, man, that was just a great fight. Whenever anybody asks me what was the best fight this year, that one always comes to mind. Now, is it truly the best fight? I don't know, dog, but that one always comes to mind for me personally. So, in my book, homie, that's the one I'm gonna put down, Hans. Okay, that's the one I'm gonna put down. Now, the big one that I want to get to is fighter of the year. Okay. Fighter of the year. What's up, Hectic? Fighter of the year. Now, there's controversy with this one. Shout out to my boy G Funky Boxing. I was watching this show earlier. If you guys want, in detail, all these categories, which I'm not going to do, I don't really have much time. I got to get going in a bit, but you guys go check out my boy G Funky Boxing, man. He broke all this stuff down, in categories, man. And he did a great job, man. Vato's wearing a suit and tie to go with it, man. Shout out to my boy G Funky Boxing. So, um, there there's a lot of controversy with fighter of the year and who should be fighter of the year. Some people say it should be Dimitri Bivol. Um, some people say it should be Bam Rodriguez. Um, there could be a few others. Let me see. I know there's a list. Monster Inoue. That could be fighter of the year if somebody believes it's him, right? Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. While a lot of these are good candidates, and so is Dimitri Bivol, I'm not really sure, man, what makes Dimitri Bivol top of that list. Um, in my opinion, it should be Bam Rodriguez, hands down. What do you fight 3 times this year? He went up in weight. Dimitri Bivol, and I'm not a hater of Dimitri Bivol. Okay, I'm not. Okay, but Bivol, he fought Canelo. Okay, which is basically the biggest win because it's Canelo, right? But Canelo moved up in weight. All right, let's not forget that he got out of his comfort zone, moved up in weight to fight Bivol. Bivol gets that victory. Now, that's a good victory. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It's a good victory, but you're basically beating a big name, right? You're not really beating somebody, a major player at 175 pounds. You're not. You're beating a big name, yes. but you're not beating, the main guy or one of the main guys at your weight division at 175. You're not doing that. Do I give Bivol props? Absolutely. Yes, of course I do. He beat Canelo. And I don't even think it was that close of a fight, to tell you the truth. Here's where the kicker comes in, though. How much credit should Dimitri Bivol get for beating Ramirez? Zurdo. I never had Zurdo up here, Holmes. Never. To me, Zurdo was always, he's undefeated, but he's kind of in the same category to me, where I have like a Jaime Munguia type of undefeated fighter. I mean, we could talk undefeated fighters. Go ahead and talk them, man. It's, Jamal Charlo's an undefeated fighter. But how much stock was really on Zurdo? It's like, is Dimitri Bivol really hands down fighter of the year for beating Zurdo? Yes, we covered Canelo. Got that. One victory doesn't make you fighter of the year. Not like that. I mean, it could definitely catapult you into the conversation. But does beating Zurdo Ramirez, does that really put you over the line? It doesn't in my book, Holmes. Maybe it does to other people. I don't know, man. I think a lot of gente were really putting a lot of stock on Zurdo, homie, thinking that he really stood a chance, but he never really did, Holmes. There's my boy G Funky right there. You guys go check him out. He broke this stuff down a lot more, man. I'm not really gonna get into all the categories and everything. But I do want to explain this. And I got a smirk on my face because I was having a nice long conversation with somebody about this. Dimitri Bivol, should he be in the category? Should he be mentioned as fighter of the year? Sure, why not? But it's Bam Rodriguez, hands down, homie. Dimitri beats Canelo Alvarez, okay? Good victory, good name under your belt, but Canelo Alvarez is a nobody at 175. He's a somebody in boxing, yes. But who is he at 175? If anything, Dimitri, he's the guy at 175. He was the champion. Should he give props for beating Canelo? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Homie, I give the vato props, dog. But it wasn't Dimitri Bivol that moved down in weight and beat Canelo, or moved up in weight. And then beating Zurdo Ramirez. Oh, man. Hey, Holmes. Serio, Zurdo is not that great of a fighter, Holmes. He is not, dog. He's got an undefeated record. So does Jamal Charlo. So does Jaime Munguia. Zurdo is not a great fighter, Holmes. Okay, those are his 2 fights this year, his 2 victories. And for me, dog, that does not make him fighter of the year. What's up, Raider? I knew Zurdo was going to be easy work. G Funky, I think a lot of us did, man. I think the ones that were really giving Zurdo a chance were just basically, hey, dog, just give you the raza, Holmes, and that's about it. But in reality, I remember G Funky saying that he doesn't give Zurdo a chance, and I was on his chat. I was on his chat because I was watching his live, and I said right there, the only thing Zurdo has going for him is his size. That is it. basically he can absorb more punishment. Because if he wasn't that big, I think Dimitri would have dropped him, homie, if not stopped him. But because he's so big, he's able to absorb more punishment. But that was it, dog. Zurdo is not that good of a fighter. If you really pay attention to boxing, he's not all that. He ain't all that on a bag of chips, dog. And his record is what it is because of the competition he's been in there with. Let me see. Bivol didn't take a big risk fighting Canelo, and Bivol too. Guys moving up. Bam took huge risk, beating Cuardas. Soren V's side. Gonzalez. That's my point, dog. That's why to me this is not even a conversation. Look, I would maybe Shakur Stevenson is a little bit more in the conversation than Bivol is. Just like you said, Raider, just like I was saying, homie, Canelo is the one that moved up to 175. Who's Canelo at 175, Holmes? Who is he? You know, so to me, Bivol is not fighter of the year. Should he be mentioned? I mean, sure, why not? And I like Bivol. I do, dog. I like watching him fight. But, and by the way, G Funky, since I got you here, you read earlier today, you read my comment that I left on your chat wrong, dog. I didn't say Canelo will beat Bivol if the fight's at 168. No, I was asking the question, will Canelo beat Bivol if the rematch is at 168? That's the only chance I give Canelo against Bivol if it's at 168. But even then, I still got Bivol winning the fight. But nonetheless, to me, it's not even a question, dog. It's Ben Rodriguez. Okay, he moved up in weight. Yes, are there like, you know, did he fight great fighters? Here's what people got to understand, man. Here's what people got to understand. Once you get into like those low weight classes, 115, 112 pounds, it's hard to really get real notable names, real superstars. You know, once you get to like 147 and up, those are where the real superstar names are, right? Even at 140, even at 135, once you get below 130, maybe 126, it's hard. You know, the boxing world just doesn't really care. I mean, when you got real true boxing fans, yeah, you care about those weight classes and you watch those fights. But your casual boxing fan doesn't really care about these really small guys. So they don't really pay too much attention to what somebody like what Ben Rodriguez is doing, you know, when he's fighting somebody like Guardas and Soren V's side. They don't really know these names too much. And they don't really give them props too much. Yeah, they might follow somebody like Ben Rodriguez and say, like, man, that's one bad mofo, but they don't really know his opponents. So thus, they don't really know his accomplishments. And when you got somebody like a superstar, a megastar, in somebody of Canelo Alvarez, and he loses, probably people aren't even paying attention, dog, that, hey, Canelo wasn't even fighting in his weight class. He moved up. Canelo wasn't even the champion. Bivol was the champion. He was the guy, maybe not in boxing overall, but he was the guy at that weight class at 175. Canelo was the challenger. I still give Bivol his props, definitely. And I still give him props for being Zurdo, but that's not that big of a victory, dog. It's Spencer, homie, but it's not that big of a victory. Yeah, no problems, big dog. By the way, G Funky, you guys go check him out. He was wearing suit and tie and everything, dog. Let me see. I put money on Zurdo. Okay, look. I would have probably put some money on him too, because you're probably not going to make a lot of money if you put money on Bivol, right? But does Zurdo have a chance? It's boxing. Everybody, he stands a punching chance. But I just boxing skills, homie, it does not even come close from what Bivol has in his boxing skills arsenal to what Zurdo has. It is not close, dog. You put those guys in the ring against each other 10 times, and I'd say 10 times out of 10, Bivol wins. I didn't know who Zurdo was until the fight with Bivol. And see, that's the sad thing because Zurdo has over 40 fights. He has over 40 fights, and he's with Golden Boy. But he doesn't fight anybody, man. So, that's the thing. This was his major fight, man. So, with that, chingones and chingonas, again, I wasn't really going to get all detail into different categories and everything like that, man. But I just definitely want to come on here and definitely want to give the props to Bam Rodriguez. In my book, he is fighter of the year, homie. Hands down. Yes, Shakur Stevenson, hey, man, good year for him as well. Dimitri Bivol, yeah, man, good year for him as well. I guess basically just because he beat the guy in the sport of boxing, but he did not beat the guy in his weight class at light heavyweight. He did not beat the guy there. So yeah, man, but Bam Rodriguez, dog, I am very excited to see what that kid does in 2023, man. Hey, but with that, chingones and chingonas, man. Gracias. Yeah, Franco is fighting tomorrow in Japan. So I'm not sure what time that's going to be. But chingonas, man. Gracias so much. This was basically Los Tres Chingones Boxing. This was our first year that we got together and did this. Before this, I had a boxing channel called Cholo Boxing. I was just doing it solo. And I liked David Contreras, his demeanor, his attitude, everything like that, man. I got in touch with him through another camarada, and we didn't even talk boxing. I didn't even know he had a boxing channel. He had a boxing channel called Rolling with the Punches. And you guys know Mike Zavala, who I always used to like to try to bring on Cholo Boxing. And the three of us just got together, man, and we just had good chemistry. Since then, I've actually, met David Contreras in person out in Florida. I've kicked it with him a few times, even here. And man, I've been having a great time. One of the coolest things I did was this right here. I was was that right there? Being part of media for the Zepeda Diaz fight. And we plan on doing much more this coming year, man. So, we're talking. We got some plans. We're going to be doing it bigger and better, homie. So hopefully things work out. If not, we got to make them work out. But it's been fun. I've had a great time doing this with those guys and with you guys as well, man. So gracias so much for being here and chopping it up and talking boxing, not just with me, but with Mike and with David as well. And with that, we will see you guys in 2023, 2023, Los Tres Chingones Boxing, along with the Chingones and Chingonas. We are coming, man. All right. Hey, Chingones and Chingonas, whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back in 2023 and do this again. To the next round, I'll catch you guys then.